everybody. Welcome back to another Did You Know episode. And tonight we are going to take you virtually outside of Washington State, and we're going to head east, and we're going to go check out some of our favorite, me and Russ's favorite ghost towns in Montana. And they're the most well known, except one, but we're not doing that one tonight. So anyway, tonight we're going to start with, do we have any announcements to make? Oh yeah, tomorrow night,
I don't.
tomorrow night, I'm going to be starting my own show, of tarot readings. If you guys want to come and get some tarot readings, I will post the link tomorrow. And I will also post the link for StreamYard so that you can come in and be live on air with me, which is always fun. Most of you guys are pretty chicken. You just want to ask the questions and not, be on the show with me. So
I don't blame a lot of people because I'm not. This ain't.
Russ is not a big video kind of guy. But
never have been.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So anyway,
but I do it for.
Well, I kind of make him.
She threatens me.
Hi there, Mary. Hi, Robert. How you doing?
What's up, Robert?
So tonight we're gonna start with.
Mary.
We're gonna start with Bannock Ghost Town.
Very cool
which
place.
is Russ and I have been several times.
Yeah, it's a little did you know fact that we, the two of us, have probably been across the country more than Lewis and Clark.
That's for sure.
We've been around.
Yeah, we've been back and forth. That's for sure. It's been a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
But our plans aren't done yet because that's our complete bucket list.
That's what I'm working on this year. All in.
Mm-hmm.
We got to secure our transportation.
Yep, that's about it.
And once that's secured, we're going to come be visiting some folks. I don't know how we're going to go see Robert, but we'll figure it out.
Not unless we put a pontoon underneath what we have. I don't think that's going to work too good. Okay, so here we go. All right. Oh, no. What's going on here?
What are you?
Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness, she's messing up already.
Oh, there
it goes.
Okay. You don't have to see us that much, but so as it says, we're heading east to Montana ghost towns, incredible histories, and incredible hauntings. Russ and I have investigated each one of these locations, and we will be telling you guys all about what we've experienced at these places. And man, I tell you, we've been through some stuff at these places, and it's going to be really interesting to share them with people. What the hell happened to me?
No, you just hit something. You're fine. You're there.
Okay, so Bannock Ghost Town. I got the information right here. So give me just a second. Okay, Bannock State Park, that's what it is now.
Right.
Is a national national historic landmark and the site of Montana's first major gold discovery on July 28th, 1862. The strike set off a massive gold rush that swelled Bannock's population to over 3,000 by 1863. As the value of gold steadily declined, Bannock's bustling population was slowly lost. So, yeah, I mean, okay, and when did it come of a ghost town? It was considered such an important center that 2 years later it was named the capital of Montana when it first was established, reaching 3,000 inhabitants, like I said. When the gold mines ran out, the fame of Bannock also declined, but it remained alive and well, in other words, having people live there until 1970 when the last resident died. So, and I had never heard that part, that there was actually people living there,
Yeah, until 1970. Yeah, the park ranger.
Was it a park ranger?
Yeah, remember that there? The one we got really lucky at Bannock one time. We went up, and it was the day before opening, or the weekend before. I can't remember what it was, but they were just getting ready to open it, and the only people there were park rangers.
Yeah, and they weren't even at their stations or anything.
Well, we got in free.
Yep.
You know, and total every building was open.
It was the exact day before it was supposed to reopen for the tourist season, and we just happened to stumble into that, and it was very lucky for us.
Cool.
Because we got to walk around, and there was nobody there to, interrupt what we were trying to do. And interesting. Hi, Julie. An interesting place. So, we started out in some of the most famous. Let me click on this so you guys can see. Okay. Right outside of the entrance to Bannock State Park is the original cemetery that they had out there.
Right.
And there's hundreds of graves out there. So a lot of people died from the winters, from epidemics, all that. So, yeah, let me click. I don't know. Because I'm not sure what pictures I have. Okay, here's some pictures of the cemetery out there. And you can see there the rolling hills. And back in here, and there's a place called Grasshopper Creek. I'll show you in just a second. That's where they found the first bits of gold. And then, of course, word got out, and everybody started cramming into the town. And they built the town. There's like 50 original buildings, houses and buildings, in the park. So it's pretty cool. And they continually are restoring them so they don't fall down or collapse in on themselves. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is it tells the history of Bannock. It's right outside before you walk into the park, the gate to the park.
Yep.
And they have events out there and stuff too. I'm not sure. I think they're in the summertime. They put on like events that shows what things were like back in those days and
they have
how people lived and stuff.
They have folks in the house doing period stuff, playing pianos. They're kind of storytellers.
This is one lady out there was playing the piano one of the times when we went out there with our grandkids.
It was spooky.
It was cool because she could. I mean,
she could play.
She could play. She was really good.
But that was the spooky part about it.
Yeah,
I mean, the echo of that old piano in that old town was haunting.
Because all the sidewalks are made out of wood.
Yeah.
When you walk into the park, there's a house that is actually haunted by a little girl.
Yeah.
I captured an apparition picture of her sitting in a little rocking chair. As I was standing outside the house, taking a photo of the house, there's a big window in the front, and she was sitting right there. She was wearing a blue dress, and she probably was about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old. She was pretty small. Then, after that, there's the saloon, and that's supposedly haunted, too. We've never actually captured anything in there, but doesn't mean it's not haunted. It just means that we didn't capture anything.
The Mead Hotel, however.
Yeah, well, we're going to go down one side and come back down the other. Okay, so then you got the church after that. Now, when we went in there, Russ and I were by ourselves. There was no wind outside. No. It was a very calm, actually kind of warm day. It wasn't hot. It was just warm.
It's Montana in the summer.
Right.
Well, the beginning of spring.
Yeah, probably late spring.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're standing in there. We're kind of doing some EVPs and checking the church out and stuff. And Russ is standing back by the entry doors. And all of a sudden, the door opened up by itself and then closed by itself. And Russ is like, what the heck? And then he heard footsteps.
Right there.
Right there, like somebody had just came into the church. So.
Yeah. No air. I mean, there was no air displacement. No, a building settling. I don't think so. Building settling's okay. When that does happen, you get door movement. It kind of swing, but then it'll stop. When it opens and closes, that's weird.
Well, because you could hear it open, click. Like somebody had turned the doorknob and then opened it, and then it creaked a little bit, and then it closed back up, and it clicked. I mean, so it wasn't like the wind opened it and closed it, because it was closed completely. So then, this picture right here, by the way, is Grasshopper Creek, is where the gold was discovered.
Yep.
And a little girl drowned trying to take her dad lunch or something, and she ended up the creek was swollen a little bit, so she ended up drowning in there. Yeah, I can't remember what her name was, but yeah.
There's a legend there.
Okay, so then after the church, you walk down a little ways, and there's the Mead Hotel, and if you see it in the left picture, it's that big brick building right there, and upstairs they had some brothels, or at least women of the night, and to the left in the lobby, to the left you can't see it, but there's an old vault right there.
It's a great big safe, great big door on it.
Yeah, because they would keep gold and stuff in there, but there was a desk right there for, like, you know, signing in to sleep there overnight and stuff like that. But these stairs right here, people claim that they're haunted. You know, all the time we've been out there 5 times. Yeah. I've never experienced anything on those stairs, but in the rest of the upstairs and downstairs, yes, I've experienced a lot. So, but Russ has a story about what we were upstairs. Actually, there's a back stairwell from the kitchen that goes up to the second floor.
We're over in the saloon, and the saloon has an information board up, and it gives a complete history, pretty much of the saloon and the activities and what happened, you know, because the miners would come in there, they would drink. Well, you had ladies of the evening that worked, you know, because wherever the gold or silver was, prostitution was big.
And they can't follow. That's what they do.
Don't you know, these women did what these women had to do because it was a completely different point in time in history. Now, anyway.
Let me make a point about that.
Yeah.
Women back in those days, even if they were married and the husband died, if they had land and everything, the women were not allowed to own that land. So what do you ladies think about that?
Yeah, so
they had to do something to make a living.
So when people talk about the prostitutes, the Old West, I see that as just slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Another form of slavery.
Yeah.
I mean, women had to do it anyway.
I could go on about that.
Yeah,
too.
the women of the evening, they would be over in the Mead Hotel. They'd go over to the bar and they'd pick them up. They'd bring them back over to the hotel and do their thing. Well, they had upstairs cribs, is what it was, or they'd use the rooms. And this one room was closed off. It was locked. I don't know. Maybe they're doing renovations inside. They didn't want anybody. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But it was locked. And I just had my recorder going, and I knew the history, and I just, you know, out the blue. Hey, how much for a good time with a lady tonight?
Mm-hmm.
2 bits is the answer I got.
And it was almost
very
immediate
clear.
too. It was
real clear.
It was was it on the Ghost Box or?
No, it was on my Olympus recorder.
Oh, we were doing. Russ was doing real-time EVPs, and he told me what it.
Walking around.
I didn't hear it. He heard it. So, but I've been up on those in that hallway upstairs many times, and you hear walking, you know, and you look in a room, there's nobody there. There's probably 20 rooms up there or more.
We got tokens somewhere that we bought there.
Yeah.
And these tokens, you would buy them and you would give them as a gift for a friend.
Uh-huh.
And 1 straw, 2 screws, and a whiskey.
Right.
Or, I mean, that's what these things would say.
Yeah, these coins
it was
said
insane.
That. Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway.
So, but the Mead was, and also Sheriff John, what's his name? Sheriff Plummer. I don't remember his first name.
I think
it was
it's Plummer.
I think it was John. But anyway, this guy, he was interesting because he was a sheriff during the day, you know, and took care of things, and then by night he was a road agent, which in basically easier terms, he was a thief.
He's a thief at night and a cop during the day.
Yeah. And so they ended up catching him and hanging him. A lot of people liked him because he was a good guy. Just, I don't know how he got into the thief stuff, but he was still supposedly a very nice man and took care of things.
Well, so. And he helped his neighbors, and he did, but he was a little on the greedy side.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
And he used to run a lot of stuff out of the Mead.
Out of the Mead, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, this is the IOOF. I don't know what that means. I think it might be Masons. I don't know.
International of...
Order of something fraternity.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, this is
Robert will probably look it
this
up.
building. Actually, they held their club meetings or whatever you call them upstairs, and then downstairs was the school.
Hey, Ingrid.
Hey, Ingrid. The school was downstairs, so yeah. I mean,
No.
there's stairs right here that you can go upstairs
that's right.
and look.
The school was downstairs.
Yeah.
It was a dual building, and they built the school room, but they had the other room on top of. Yeah.
Yeah. You get kind of a real creepy vibe when you go up there. I can't explain it. They've got this not glass, but plexiglass.
Yes.
Thing in front, so you can't go in this section, but you can take pictures, but because it's clear.
Well, yeah.
But I would have loved to go in there and see.
I understand why you can't let a lot of people go, but once in a while, let somebody.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Give a couple people a chance to go in there and really check it out.
Yeah, I know, and it says on there, and I am so tempted half the time. Do not touch. That is like telling me to touch it. It is. Do not touch. That means for me, it just goes. It's like OCD. Touch it. Touch it. Touch it.
You're so
I don't know.
You're so weird. Okay. Now, out front of the schoolhouse, this thing actually will move on its own. And that's without wind, or I'm telling you guys, this thing will go around. I got Russ on a video somewhere of him riding this thing. But prior to that, I mean, like I said, we've been there like 5 times. And one time I did see this thing moving on its own. And there was no reason for it.
Well, and that's another I like to do. Now that doesn't have a no touch sign on it. You're encouraged. You can ride on it.
Yeah.
But the really cool part is when you sit on it, people in the 1800s were riding this thing.
Yeah, you got to think about those things. I think about that a lot.
And I'm sitting there and I'm hanging on to a bar. I'm doing this stuff that they did 150, 200 years, whatever. And you can't help but trip back. Sometimes when I'm in Montana, I can look up on a mountain range and I swear to God I see an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it.
Now, Little Bighorn, we did see that.
Yeah, that's a cool place. That's another one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one
Montana's
day.
a wonderful state.
We love it. Actually, we would love to live there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is where Sheriff Plummer was hung. They threw a rope over this thing and hung him and left him up there for a few days. I don't know why.
Hey,
you
Don,
can barely
what's up,
hear me. Okay, hang on. Let me check my volume. Oh, okay, there we go. Is that better? Hope that's better.
Testing.
Anyway, so this is where, like I said, this is where they hung Sheriff Plummer, and it's up on a hill, out back of the town. You climb up this hill and you can actually look at it. We've never walked up there.
No,
it's always so darn hot you can't breathe.
Well, and a lot of times when we go, it's snake season, rattlesnakes.
Right. Right.
There's signs everywhere.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna still talk about Montana or Bannock here for a second. Let me go back to a different picture. Let's just stop here. Okay, so anyway, then after we went, then you can know about the IOOF building. If you walk down, and then the mead and those buildings are actually the ones that people go to the most because they hear that they're. I'm sorry, but it's my volume's all the way up, so
no.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so,
wow.
I don't know, volume's up. I don't know
what's
going on. Anyway, I checked my volume and everything, so it was good when I checked it here on StreamYard. So I don't know, Don. Maybe your stuff is down or something. I don't know. Okay. Huh?
We're real low.
Are we?
I can barely hear.
I wonder why. Let me check this out here.
I'm all the way up and I can barely hear it.
Well, I don't know.
Huh.
The volume's all the way up. See? Let's see if I can lighten this up a little bit too. There we go.
Well, I don't know. You can barely hear it.
I don't know.
You don't have another mic setting? Yeah, he said I had to put mine into my ear too.
I don't understand.
You don't have an external mic or anything?
No.
Just not mute. Wow, I don't understand.
Maybe I can. I wonder if I plug in my earphones and then have the microphone out so they can hear you too.
That's okay. Try that.
I'll try putting my microphone on, or my headset on, and you'll still be able to hear Russ. Hang on just a minute, guys. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Maybe it'll make a difference. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. Can you guys hear me okay now? Huh? Let me know.
Yep.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Maybe.
There we go.
Okay. Maybe we should. Can you hear Russ?
Mary said yes. Don says yeah. Everybody can hear you now.
Okay. Good.
Can you hear you? I hope you can hear me.
Can you hear Russ, guys? Let me know.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so that's Bannock, and Bannock is it's out in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive for probably, 20 miles or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. To be able to uh, get to it. It's kind of like out in the rolling hills, like I said before.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's head over. Not too far away. From Twin Bridges, it's near Twin Bridges, about, I think it's like 12 miles or something, is a town called Nevada City. Let me tell you a little bit about Nevada City.
Very cool place.
I love it. All these ghost towns are just awesome. Okay, so Nevada City was a mining ghost town until the Bovey family restored it back between 1945 and 1978. The entire town of Nevada City is a living historical museum. Today it is a famous tourist attraction with many original log buildings and an outstanding collection of old-time music boxes, player pianos, and calliopes. It's only 1.5 miles from Virginia City, which we're going to talk about as well. And let's see. Okay, in the 1880s, it was one of the two major centers of commerce in what was known as one of the richest gold strikes in the Rocky Mountain West. Sharing this role with its sister city, Virginia City, like I just said. And since the late 1990s, Nevada City has become a tourist attraction for its collection of 19th century buildings within or surrounding the Nevada City Museum and Music Hall. Let's see, the town consists of an open-air museum, which is the whole town basically, that includes 108 buildings. 14 buildings are original to the town site. The rest were moved there and restored and put in place. It was populated by placer miners working several mining districts, including Browns Gulch, just south of the town, and Granite Creek, about 2 miles northwest of Nevada City. Let's see. And its boom era was between 1863 and 1875. Okay, it was home to dozens of stores, housing about 100 people in all. In 1869, mercantile representation included 3 general stores and 2 saloons. In April 1872, the city contained 1 miner's store, 1 brewery, a blacksmith shop, butcher shop, livery stable, and a Masonic hall. I didn't see that, did you?
Masonic hall?
Yeah, when we were there.
Oh, I recall that.
Most of the citizens were engaged in mining pursuits, but some of the residents had farms and stock in the valley. In 1875, Nevada City's population was still in decline, and by 1880, the Nevada City Census listed 50 people occupying 16 dwellings, and the most commonly listed occupation of Nevada City's working class was a placer miner. So, okay, then on December 19th, 1863, they had a miners' court, and and it was a trial, and it took place. The trial was for the murder of Nicholas, a Dutchman. George Ives was convicted, and in less than 1 hour, he was hanged in the middle of town while nearly 2,000 residents watched.
Man, that's justice now.
Yeah, that's just like boom. Okay, you're guilty. Boom, you're dead. Also, that's just the way it worked back then. They didn't have appeals or anything like that. So,
My goodness.
but there's a sign about halfway down the fence at because they have this fence that goes all the way around the city because you have to kind of pay to get in.
Yeah.
So about halfway down, there's a sign that talks about George Ives and him being hung there and where he was hung. So
It's a cool place.
yeah, it's a very cool place. Okay, so let me put that out of the way. So let me get some pictures up here. Okay, so this house, I believe, belonged to the Bovey family. It was huge. If you guys saw it, you would just go, "Whoa, that thing is huge," and it is. It's a massive mansion. Um, the guy that we met that was working for the state and restoring all these like buildings in Nevada City and Virginia City. Um,
Yeah,
his last name was Ellington or something like that, but I think he lived there, and his house was full of antiques.
yeah, yeah.
I think he's probably passed by now because that was, geez, 20 years
Yeah,
ago, and he's pretty old
he was
then.
old then.
But you never know. I mean, okay, so this building down here to all the way to the right is the old um, is the what's the name of it? Nevada City Hotel.
Yep.
But the thing about that was that Mr. Ellington, I think, like I said, I think that was his name, went to Yellowstone and bought the hotel because and wanted it moved back to Nevada City because they were going to tear it down, and he didn't want that because he's a
Yeah.
really awesome guy,
And
historian.
the really cool part is people go, well, okay, they move these places, and they take them apart.
Yeah,
And they number every board,
every nail,
everything.
everything.
And then they'll take it apart and they'll move it and then they reconstruct it exactly.
Yes, yes.
So I mean everything's reused, everything's original.
And
It's
and
sweet.
then and then they'll use historic ways to seal the like seal in
Seal the
between.
wood.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you see them out there. They're always jacking up buildings, working on the foundation, keeping them so they're
Mhm.
not falling down.
Right.
Doing termite preservation, rot preservation, stuff like.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
a cool these ghost towns. You guys think, oh, it's just a ghost town. It's all torn down, and everything. But
yeah,
the Montana is
goddamn,
scrupulous about saving their history.
even the rot in their walls.
Yeah,
They save, they preserve it.
they fix it. They go back and they look into
How, how to
wall
how to stop it, but leave the look.
the integrity. Yeah.
It's amazing.
The wallpaper, the carpeting, anything you can think of that goes inside, they is also used or found or made to look exactly like the original stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
thank God
pretty
these
cool.
guys are doing that work.
Okay, so all these buildings, I don't know which one. I think one of them is original to the town, and I think this is like
I think they moved that one, the one on the right hand side.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, so this is like what a barn or what they call them blacksmith shop or something would look like
A livery.
back in the day. Yeah. Okay. So this is like the street. It's inside
Yeah.
the air museum, whatever you want to call it. But here's the saddle shop. You would go in there to buy your saddles, or you know, if you had a broken thing on a saddle, you'd go in there and they'd
You
fix
can
it.
imagine the old west, and you're watching these spaghetti westerns, and they're walking down the wood sidewalks. All that's there.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
And the walkway is like crooked. It's not straight or
Not
flat.
straight.
It's like how you're walking up and down.
Hey, don't
Eh,
walk on that thing, Buzz. You're gonna trip. I'm telling
And there's a barber shop, and on the other side there's other buildings that go all the way down. That house down there at the end of the street is interesting. Now, when Russ and I went there, we went through you had to go through the hotel to get into You had to go out the back door to get into the town.
Yeah.
And it was me, Russ, and our team. And we went out there, and nobody had been out there. Not even nobody. It was just it hadn't been nobody had been there for months because of winter. And it was when it gets cold in Montana, it gets cold because it was 18 degrees the night that we were investigating this town,
Yeah.
and it was cold. Um, and so we first investigated the hotel. The hotel was incredibly creepy. Um, we were downstairs in the saloon area, and we were getting EVPs down there, but then we were getting footsteps upstairs, and there was nobody there but us.
Yeah, that's a creepy
So
place.
it was like boots walking on the floor. It was
That's
pretty cool.
yeah. Doing investigations in that cold weather, you find out that when you go take a picture, you can't breathe. You
Right.
gotta hold your breath.
Yeah, if you don't hold your breath, you're gonna get that
You
mist
get miss
looking.
that fog. It's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
Damn
um,
it, we know.
well, the bad thing is we always take at least 2 to 3 pictures for every
Yeah,
picture so that we
yeah.
can compare. Okay, see, we walk out the back door, and like I said, nobody's been there. They have these motion lights that are, or motion candles, I guess you could call them, and they're switched off. We talked to the people, said that because they said there should be nothing going on there. That you guys will have to use your flashlights. There's no lights, no nothing
It
in the
hadn't even
buildings.
opened up for the season yet, so nobody had even been there.
Right. So we walk outside, and in each window, I think there was one in this window on the building on the saddlery. And when we walked by the barber shop, there was a candle in that window, and all along the whole like main street, there was candles in the window, and they were all lit. And
Yeah,
there's no reason, and they wasn't solar powered. They were switched on and off by a switch. It wasn't like they gained energy and just came on by themselves.
we don't know.
Yeah, but
They had to get the lady to go out there and unlock the door to go inside.
yeah,
So, and she's the only one with the key. She's with us the whole time. And this all happened when we were upstairs in one of the rooms, and we looked down and we noticed that these lights were on in buildings that nobody had been in,
yeah, yeah.
and nobody could tell us why.
So, but it was around Christmas time, wasn't it?
It was December.
Yeah, it was in December, and it was cold. It
It was
was
cold.
cold, and thank God it wasn't snowing. But yeah, so all these candles were on. There was like one or two buildings that their candle wasn't on. It was kind of like this lady told us why they did that, and I can't remember. But like I said, the candles were switched on and off by a switch. They weren't solar powered. So,
Candles were some kind of. God, I can't remember what they were for.
but anyway,
It's been a long time
the
ago.
bad thing about this town was moose used to come through there all the time
Yeah,
and lay their droppings on in everywhere. And you had to be careful because moose aren't real friendly to people. So you
they're
know
just doing what moose do.
yeah, and there was elk out there and cougars and all kinds of stuff. So
You're in the middle of nature.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so this house right here is probably one of the most well-known haunted locations in Nevada City. And I wish I could remember the family name, but there's a girl there who haunts. I should have put up that picture of that who haunts the house, and
You
she's.
had it up just the other day.
I did, and I forgot to put it on
Oh,
here.
damn it.
But anyway, there's a picture that Russ took upstairs in when he was inside the girl's bedroom with one of the other team members, and they were doing an EVP session. And yes, they were getting EVPs of a little girl talk or like giggling,
Giggling.
and then Russ took this picture, and it was through the door into the opposite bedroom, and standing next to. I can share it later if you guys want me to. Standing next to
Dresser.
the old dressers, that women would sit at to put their makeup on and stuff with the big mirrors on them.
Exactly.
And there's a shadow little girl standing right next to it. So I'm assuming she was just trying to hide from
I guess
them.
technically
I don't
that
know.
wouldn't be a dresser though.
Well, not a dresser, but what do they call them? A makeup table or whatever they used them
Yeah.
for. My mom had one. That's why I understood what they were talking about, but yeah. So anyway, so the house, she was the only one. Actually, no, her father's spirit was there too. Because I actually caught a picture of him, but where these pictures are right now, I can't tell you because I've had like three computers crash, and I've lost I can't even a, a ton of evidence, photographic evidence and
With the
videos.
change of technology, if we could retrieve it or find it, we'd be able to transfer it to thumbnail, and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff,
Well, and they charge us so much to work on computers and stuff. It's
yeah. Oh
ridiculous.
boy.
Okay, so here is, you can see there's a house down there. They actually painted it. That's why it didn't look like the last picture I showed you. Somebody painted it. Okay, so
Yeah, a lot of these.
these are the streets. This is kind of what we were looking, but from a different angle.
These were the towns were used in a couple of different westerns.
Yeah, yeah.
Clint Eastwood was there. A bunch of stars made movies there.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so like I said, that the whole town, there was always something going on that would make you suspect that there's activity going on. I'm not going to say there was actual activity going on, but I could tell you that we experienced a lot out there, even as freezing cold as it was. It was cold that night, I'm telling you, it was really cold. Okay, so the next one we're going to look into is Virginia City, and I'll turn that. This is a more new section of the town, but this is Virginia City in Montana, not Nevada, but in Montana. Um, and every year it's just like a tourist trap. It's so big, and the streets are, they maintain everything pretty good. It's kind of a semi ghost town. It's not really a ghost town because there is a lot of people that live there. This is like the city hall or something, and I don't know what any of these buildings are, but at that end of town, no, actually, let me think. No, the opposite end of town,
Yep.
you're looking, what, east or something?
Oh God, I couldn't.
And
tell
but if you turn it around and go the opposite direction, that's where all the old buildings are in town. And let's see if I can have any of them. Okay, this is the Opera House. Now this building is supposed to be really, really haunted. And this is the original Opera House. And then there's something next door. I'm not sure what this building is, but the one to the left, I'm not sure what that is. But this is the Opera House, and there's a guy that haunts that building. And I've heard him talk about him, but I can't think of what his name is. I should have looked all this up, and I didn't think about it. Nah. So.
Well,
This is. Well, we didn't investigate the Opera House. We investigated this place, which is the Fairweather Hotel. Now, this is a story that Russ tells you about walking waist deep in snow. The night that we did the Fairweather, we did two other buildings. We did three altogether that night, and it was really cold again. And the wind was blowing, so which made it worse. But the Fairhaven.
They told me that the power was out.
Right. So we went, and if you look at the building and look to the end where the wall ends, there's a walkway right there, and you go into the back door, and that's the way we were supposed to go in. So we walk out there. We're walking. They had the walkway kind of shoveled off, but the rest of it was like about 4 feet deep. And Russ was walking through that to try and plug a line into so we could use our DVR system.
No, walking indicates that it wasn't too difficult. No, I was waist deep hopping.
Yeah, kind of trudging through the snow.
Yeah.
So he went over there and did that, and then one of our team members comes out and kind of looks at him and says, "Hey Russ, I found the fuse box. The lights. I turned the lights back on." And that was like too late. Yeah.
So lesson 101: check it for yourself. They tell you that the power's out. Check it anyway.
Right. And
hey Dave, what's up, cuz?
So anyway, so the Fairhaven. You know what? I can honestly say I picked up on a couple things, but there really was. They said it's really haunted, but it must have been like.
An off night.
Isn't this where the?
That's where the little boy was.
Okay, this is where Russ made a mistake and was speaking to a spirit, which he didn't know was a little boy at the time, and
That
said,
was
Don't you know that you're dead?"
that was really cool because he was actually running down the hall, and
Yeah,
there
you
was
could
like
hear
there
him.
was four people up there, and we could hear him running down the hall,
Yeah,
and I swear you could hear him giggling.
yeah,
He was having fun.
yeah. He was excited because we were there.
Yeah,
Apparently
and I
nobody
and
was
I
there much. Okay.
I goofed that one up. Anyway,
Hi, Dave. How you doing? Um. Anyway, so we were in this building for about, I don't know, 3 hours at the most, because no, it was about 2 hours because we had to get to the other places as well that night. But uh, yeah, so we ended up, doing our EVP sessions and everything else. Russ heard the little boy running down the hallway, and I had to go in and kind of counsel this little guy because he was really upset because Russ heard it on his real time EVP.
well, everybody, people call it real time. I call it real time EVPs. Everybody calls it different things. It's where you listen to your EVPs as they're being recorded.
Yeah, because it's plugged into your voice recorder.
Just hook it up to your headset.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
So anyway, so I kind of advised him and asked him if he wanted to move on or to be with his mom or whatever, and he did, and so I crossed him over. But um, that building was, as far as other than the little boy, it was creepy, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel a whole lot of activity. But you know what? It doesn't matter because sometimes that happens and you don't get anything, but other people experience a bunch of stuff. So, it's kind of one of those maybe it is, maybe it isn't kind of things. But with the little boy there, obviously it is haunted. So yeah. Okay, then okay. We got Boot Hill. We explored the whole town. We went to the saloon. That was an experience. Some
Is this where it happened?
Yeah, but I'm gonna get
Oh
to
my
that.
goodness.
Okay, this is significant to this story. But anyway, we went to the saloon and we went to a building that they used to house visiting somebody, and I can't think it, but man, it was cold in there. It was like 10 degrees inside the building,
Yeah.
so it was extremely cold. We were all dressed up. We had parkas on and everything. It was a trip.
Layers of coats.
And I picked up on a guy there that I believe was the guy that George Ives killed. I've been putting it two and two together with him getting killed and um, what I saw in my vision of him and his who he was. Um, so anyway, because he was like bright red beard, bright red hair. He was like I thought looked like one of those guys that delivered. I don't know what they call him. They'd call him like he was kind of like a UPS guy, I guess. But he would deliver stuff from town to town. I can't. What is that? What are they called?
Stagecoach drivers?
No, 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 no. Merchandise movers or something.
Freight haulers.
Yeah, that's it. Freight hauler. Yeah, I think that's what he was. But
Truck drivers.
yeah. But anyway, there's other stuff in that building too. Russ and one of his guys from his part of the team picked up on a few things there. But the whole town is pretty haunted. Let's put it that way. The town is very haunted. Now there is this one building. I don't know. Hang on just a second. I don't think I have a picture of it. But there's a building in Virginia City where these guys were arrested and they were road agents, which were thieves, robbers, whatever you want to call them. And they were all hung inside the building because I think it was wintertime. And they hung them from the rafters of the building. Now, the building is supposed to be very haunted, but I can tell you something else about this. These guys were buried up in the original cemetery of the town um, on Boot Hill. Okay. So we went up there. The last time we went through there, we actually went up there because it had been the first time we ever went up there. There was guys. These guys were a couple of the names were Boone Helm, and
See when I see the headstones.
yeah, we're I'm missing one. Shoot, I forgot to put it back up.
Oh, anyway.
Well, anyway, his last name was Gallagher, and so Boone Helm, all five men died on January 14th, 1864. And then they all died. Hello.
What's up, Brad?
Hello, Brad. Um, anyway, so we went up there and they got the new cemetery up there and everything, but they still call it Boot Hill. I don't know why. But anyway, so we're walking around and
These guys are buried outside the cemetery.
yeah. And they did that back then. If it was like a prostitute or somebody who was a thief or something like that, they would bury them outside.
They're not part of the community.
Yeah, they're outside the cemetery because they were not respected and things like that. So I have a picture of that too somewhere
Yeah.
in Oregon. There's like four people buried in an outside area. But anyway, so we're walking around the cemetery and and Russ's back was hurting, so he went back. No, we both went back to the truck and we got in, but Russ was like looking at how it was like he didn't know. You tell him.
I don't.
Oh, you don't remember that part.
I ain't got a clue what I did.
But anyway, so
I know what I did when I came.
it's like he didn't know what he was doing. He's like he didn't know how to start the truck and he wasn't sure how to put it in gear.
Professional trained truck driver.
Yeah. And so we start down the hill and he's like holding on holding on for his life on the steering wheel, driving with two hands, and he never does that. And I look at him and say, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, okay." And so he stopped at a stop sign at the bottom of the hill. And I said, which way are we going to go? And he just turned and he went to the right. I think he was heading back to Nevada City, honestly.
I don't know.
But anyway, so we're driving through town. He's going creepy crawly down through town, and Russ never drives creepy crawly, just to let you know. And so, well, he's not. He does the speed limit and stuff, but yeah. So he's driving along, and we're going around the corner at the far end of the town, and it's like he didn't know what he was doing. He was like staring straight ahead and like white as a ghost, like he didn't know what he was doing and why he was doing it. And then I said, "You need to pull over because there's something not right with you." And so it took him like, I don't know, a minute or something to figure out how to pull back over, pull off someplace, and then how to put it in gear and everything. So he goes around and he gets in the passenger seat and I get in the driver's seat and we start driving. And all of a sudden he passes out. Phew. His head drops. Right?
Yeah.
And then after that, he was fine. I mean, he snapped out of it. It was like 2 minutes later, he snapped out of it. And
I was in the car. We're riding down the road, and I'm sitting there going, "How'd that get here?" And she goes, "You were driving." When? You know, this is all brand news to me. All news.
Because the last thing he remembered was being in the cemetery.
Looking at this guy's grave.
This guy's grave, right there.
That guy's grave. I get the chills every time I see that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like he went for a ride.
Yeah, he attached to him and just kind of took over Russ for just a few minutes.
Couldn't tell you any part of it.
And this guy, whoever it was, and then we're driving. Oh, I forgot something. Okay, I took over driving, and then we're driving along, and like I said, Russ's head drops, and then a minute or so later, he's back up. I was looking for a hospital or a doctor or something because I thought he had a stroke.
Yeah, it was weird.
And so, it was like he had gotten. I think they were cursed to that cemetery. This is what I honestly think. And they got snapped back like a rubber band, and it just pulled him right out of there. Like they can't go a certain distance beyond the town, beyond where they were hung. That's what I feel. I think that they just were like cursed.
I believe that he went to Brad's won't know how he got unattached. He went to his boundary.
Yeah.
And he couldn't go no further.
Right.
That's the only thing I can assume.
Because I don't know what they said to these guys before they hung them, but I imagine they said you're going to be in hell for the rest of your life or something like that, and you're going to be attached to this town. You never be able to leave. Your bodies will be here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and maybe the way they said it or something put a curse on them and said, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck here." And yeah, actually heard of things like that before, but had never experienced it until that happened to Russ. Hi, Sharon.
Sharon.
And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
Montana's cool as shit.
yeah, it was weird. That was really weird. Um, where are we at? 10:50. Okay, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people think, oh, like I said earlier, a lot of people think, oh, ghost towns are just rotten buildings and, there's nothing there. And they think of a ghost town, yeah, there might be a ghost there, but big deal, kind of thing. But I can tell you, I've heard some stories about some of these ghost towns. Like there's one in Idaho called Silver City, and there's a guy that stays up there during the winter, when tourist season isn't going on. And he says he hears women and guys laughing and glasses clinking and it's all in the wind kind of, like, and people like guys walking around with cowboy hats and boots
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kinds of things. I mean, you guys, if you had never been to a ghost town, you should go
Yeah,
because
I got
find one that's, like, restored kind of like these are.
Montana, the where they had the mine disaster. A lot of guys got killed there. And if you go up to the monument and you stand there on a windy night, you can hear them.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about Little Bighorn?
No, no, no. The monument where the guys got killed in the mine accident in Montana,
Yeah,
in Butte.
yeah.
You can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can hear noises like carts moving and things like that. Not only
It's
that,
spooky.
they've got a recording up there. They found the letters that the guys had left to their families before they suffocated.
So you can push a button, you can listen. What is it?
It is
Obviously, it's not them reading it, but
it is the creepiest thing. I mean, it's a really heartfelt thing, but it's also creepy because you could hear it. It's like on the wind then. And I got it recorded. So if you guys, anybody ever wants to hear it, let me know and I'll see if I can find it and send
it's
it
so
to you.
insane. It echoes.
Yeah.
It freaking echoes, and it surrounds you.
It's
And
just one.
it is really weird.
There's this one guy who's talking to his wife and his kids and saying, I don't think I'm going to be around anymore or something like that. It's just hard.
It's hard
It's
not
hard.
to get your eyes watered up. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
it's heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. And then, like we've been to Nevada and we've been to Virginia City down there. Want to go back again.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to go to some of those. Uh, if I can find it, Mary, I'll send it to you. Send me your email address because it won't fit on like
Yeah.
Messenger or anything. Okay. Um, and never been to what is it? The Washoe in like we've been in there, and we've actually took a tour with the lady from the Washoe, but um, I'd rather go at night. I would like to do like a flashlight tour or something there. I don't want to have to pay to come in there.
There's a kid upstairs there. So.
Yeah, there's a kid. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of things up there.
No, only I noticed the kid.
Yeah.
We were on a tour, and this little kid stuck out so bad
Mhm.
that it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
She did it. I mean, it was a girl. Did everything she could possibly do to be seen.
Mhm.
I don't know how other people didn't see her.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I took a picture of Russ. He was at the opposite end of the hallway, and behind him was a spirit standing there, and it was a little girl,
Yeah.
no doubt. But now I don't know where those pictures are either. You guys may think we're lying because we're not showing proof, but I'm serious. I had three computers, and each one of them had so much evidence on it.
Sure, but
And yeah, I would love to share it with people. I would love to write a book, like
go,
a photo kind of book.
hey, go there. You won't be disappointed. I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure. Okay, so today is
Yes, it is.
no, I mean the time. That's what I meant.
Five
Okay,
minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. I mean, I have some that I've managed to save all this time, but yeah.
Brad, thanks,
Thank you,
man.
Brad. um, but anyway, next week, Russ and I are going to
I meant to test that on you guys. Tell you about
we're
this
going to do something live.
7 foot tall rabbit we saw.
We have to help our granddaughter move from her dorm back to her other relative's house,
Spring
and
break.
because spring break, and so um, we'll be out and about. So I think that we're going to go do something and pre-record it, and then we might play it for you. I don't think it'll be live because of internet issues and things like that, but it it might be. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it'll be something, like I mean, we could play it, but you know,
See, your show ain't long enough because we're only talking about two places in Montana, and there's like 100.
three.
Well, there's like 100.
Well, we can still talk,
I mean, yeah.
but I don't have the pictures and stuff to show them. I don't like to do that. I want them to be able to see what I'm talking about. It's more
You get
interesting
bored
that
with
way.
those pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't want you guys getting bored
I
because
could.
we don't have
I
nothing to
mean,
show.
I've known me for a while, and believe me, I can get on my nerves.
That's for sure. Me too.
Just ask me.
Yeah. So anyway, and then like I said, tomorrow night I start my show, doing tarot readings. It'll be 3 cards. But later on I might do some contest or something where somebody gets a full reading on. I don't know. We'll see. But I've just been really busy with the shows and some other
Oh, we're on
stuff.
her mic. That's the reason that sounds like I'm in a barrel, probably.
Yeah.
Something with her audio.
I'm having audio problems for some reason. My volume's not working right.
I'm
So,
way back here.
and it's probably because I normally I wear my earphones on here because this thing so StreamYard is set up for me wearing my earphones, and apparently I didn't do something right when I was setting up tonight. So
Yeah, I'm being held
you're being held.
against my will. Send help.
I'll send him to you. Anybody wants him? I'll auction him off. 10 cents. Right there. Why are you
Hey.
sitting far
Oh,
back?
Jesus Christ. Hey.
So people can see you. Jeez.
Hey, look, you got just miniaturized it. I'm there. You just got it turned or something.
Well, hang
I
on.
don't know. I'm not 3 foot tall or nothing.
Let me get rid of this. Okay.
See? I'm right here. You ain't got to grab me. I'm old. I can hear you.
He thinks I'm
perfectly,
he
and me
thinks I'm
too.
gonna break him. I guess.
Yes.
Right? Am I?
What is it?
What?
7.5.
7.5. What?
Earthquake?
I don't know.
Hearing?
I'll hang with Russ anytime.
Right on, Brad. Right on.
I'll let you. I'll send him to you. I need a vacation. I'm sure he probably does too for me. 7.5 cents.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not
So
a dime.
we're gonna auction you off for
Not even
7.5
a
cents.
dime?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're bidding for Russ. We'll have to.
7.5 cents. At least I'm getting something.
Honey, I'd pay a quarter. I'd pay a quarter.
Thank you, dear. Well, hey, my grandma used to give me 50 cents. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
My mother
Ingrid says
used to-
1 dime. If you sell him, who'll mow my yard?
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, that's worthy. Anyway,
Nice to know you're loved. I gotta tell you.
anyway, thanks guys for
Right here.
thanks guys for coming and listening tonight. I hope it was okay. I mean,
Now here, 35 cents. 35, 35, 35.
would you shut up?
40.
Anyway, so next, like I said, we're gonna try and do something next week, but something different. I know you guys get bored just sitting there watching us do nothing. Thank you.
Take half that in cash right now.
Yeah. If anybody has any ideas, Brad says he loves your hat. If anybody has any ideas on how we could earn some extra money so we can buy a vehicle, that would really be helpful. Because we've come up with some, but they just don't, they won't fit into, what he can do and what I can do physically or anything. So, yeah, we probably won't be doing anything this year like we had hoped or planned, unless God forbid, he drops in a vehicle that we can travel in. That's our plans. So, anybody has any ideas, want to do a fundraiser for Sandy and Russ, I'll be glad to do what I can to help out. But yeah, Reading. Reading. Priceless. Okay. Anyway, we love you bunches, guys, and we will.
Readings.
Oh yeah.
Readings.
Well, I would, but every time I do that, nobody comes because, like, I won't go into that. I'll tell you about that later, Barry. But anyway, so you guys have a great night. Have a great weekend. We will see. I will see you tomorrow night, hopefully. And
Jim?
yes.
Yes.
And I will, like I said, I will see you tomorrow night. Russ will not. He will see you next week when we go do something. Maybe we'll do a street investigation.
I only do these things for you guys.
He doesn't.
That ain't me.
He's not into it. So
No.
that's why I do most of the talking. That and I won't shut up most of the time. Right? Yeah. I agree. I talk too much. So anyway, love you guys. See you next time.
Love you, sis.
Bye.